How do you prove pain when no one else can see it? What happens when your child is accused of faking a disability, one that isn't obvious but affects every single part of their life? That's the fight my family had to take on when a woman in our neighborhood, a woman with power, decided she knew better than doctors, better than medical experts, and certainly better than my own daughter. I'm Rachel Foster, a civil rights attorney. For over 16 years, I've dedicated my life to fighting for people who don't have the resources or voice to stand up against systemic injustice. But all that legal training didn't prepare me for what happened after we moved into a suburban neighborhood just outside Atlanta called Brookridge Grove. The reason for our move was simple. My daughter Lily needed to be closer to her specialist at Emory Medical Center. She's 16 now, bright as they come, a budding artist, and a young woman who's lived with chronic spinal instability and complex regional pain syndrome ever since a bicycle accident shattered her life 2 years ago. Her condition is classified as an invisible disability. In her good days, you might see her walking, even laughing. On her bad days, she's in a wheelchair, barely able to sit upright without pain. The inconsistency is part of the illness. Some days are manageable. Other days, the pain feels like barbed wire wrapped around her spine. Started small like it always does. A few suspicious glances, whispered comments from neighbors, things we might have brushed off if not for one woman, Meredith Langston. Mid-50s, always dressed like she was heading to a country club fundraiser, and the treasurer of our HOA. She wielded her clipboard like a weapon. Within a week of moving in, I filed paperwork to get a designated disabled parking space for Lily in front of our house. I submitted all the necessary documentation, including her state-issued disabled permit. The HOA board approved it. All but one member, Meredith. Soon after, I received a follow-up email from her personally asking for further proof of Lily's disability. As an attorney, I immediately recognized this as both inappropriate and potentially illegal. I wrote back with references to the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Fair Housing Act, explaining that her request for medical records was a violation of federal law. The permit was all the verification she was entitled to. I expected that to be the end of it. It wasn't. Memorial Day weekend rolled around and Lily was having a rare good day. Her physical therapist had recommended swimming to improve circulation and build muscle strength, so we went to the neighborhood pool. I graded papers under an umbrella while Lily swam with her new friend, Ava Martinez. They laughed, splashed, played like kids are supposed to. Meredith approached me. Her shadow fell across my laptop. "Funny," she said coolly, eyes fixed on the pool. "Your daughter looks very active today." "She has a fluctuating condition," I replied. "Good days and bad." She gave a soft laugh. "My brother works in insurance. He says a lot of people exaggerate disabilities to get benefits." I looked her dead in the eyes. "Lily's condition is real. Documented. Verified by multiple specialists. But I appreciate your concern for taxpayer dollars." Her smile tightened, her eyes narrowed. "Last week, I saw her carrying groceries from your car without a cane. Some days she can do that. Others she can't walk to the bathroom. Must be nice to choose when you're disabled," she muttered. I watched her pull out her phone and start taking pictures off Lily in the pool, our parking spot, even me. I felt that familiar tingle in my gut that said this wasn't over. Over the next few weeks, Meredith appeared everywhere we went. Watching. Photographing. She took note of when Lily used her wheelchair and when she didn't. She tracked which neighborhood events we attended, which days Lily walked short distances, even how often we went to the grocery store. It wasn't long before rumors started to spread. Lily became afraid to leave the house. "People are staring at me, Mom," she whispered one evening. "Ava's mom said Mrs. Langston told her we were scamming the system." "What does that even mean?" I pulled her into a hug. "It means Mrs. Langston is ignorant. And she's spreading that ignorance like poison." "But why does she care so much?" Lily asked. "Why is my parking spot her business?" I didn't have an answer until Ava's mom, Carmen, gave me one. "You haven't heard the gossip?" she said, bringing over a plate of churros. "Meredith's son got in trouble a few years ago. Disability insurance fraud. He pretended to be injured while working another job under the table. It nearly landed him in jail." Suddenly it clicked. This wasn't just about Lily's parking spot. Meredith was on a vendetta. A projection of her shame and paranoia directed at a 16-year-old girl with a medical condition she couldn't see. The breaking point came during the June HOA meeting. I wasn't planning on attending, but Lily's doctor rescheduled last minute. It felt like the universe giving me a sign. The meeting took place in the clubhousey stuffy, old colonial building with uncomfortable plastic chairs and a broken microphone. Meredith stood at the podium going through budget reports. I watched quietly from the back until she clicked to a new slide labeled Amenity Abuse Prevention. My stomach turned. "We've recently seen an uptick in requests for special accommodations," she said. "And while we want to support legitimate needs, we must guard against abuse." Click. A new slide. Photos. My daughter, laughing at the pool. Walking beside Ava. Sitting on a bench without her cane. "This," she said, "is what I'm talking about." I stood up, voice steady but firm. "Are you seriously displaying unauthorized surveillance photos of my daughter without consent?" She was in public spaces. "I'm simply illustrating a pattern." "A pattern of what?" "Are you a neurologist, Meredith? Have you read her records? Performed an exam?" "In a but I've seen." "What you've seen is a child trying to live with dignity. What you're doing is harassment and possibly defamation." The room fell silent. Gary Williams, the HOA president, attempted to cut in. "Maybe we should table this." "No," I said. "She made her accusations. I will respond now." I turned to the residents. "Lily has spinal instability and complex regional pain syndrome. Her symptoms vary. That's the nature of her condition. It doesn't make her fraudulent, it makes her human." I proposed a formal hearing. A proper setting. Documentation. Testimony from medical professionals. Meredith didn't object. She even smirked. "I have evidence." What she didn't know was that we had evidence too. Video of her cornering Lily at the pool. Testimony from Lily's doctor. Documentation from MRI. And Lily's own pain journals. The hearing was set for the following Thursday. Lily was nervous. "Do I have to go?" "No," I said. "It's your choice. You're not on trial." After a day of thought, she made her decision. "I'll come, but I won't speak. I just want them to see me." The clubhouse was packed. Gary explained the process. Meredith went first, laying out her surveillance photos like she was presenting a crime scene. She talked about inconsistencies, questioned our motives, even hinted that we were after special privileges. Then it was my turn. I played the pool video. Meredith's voice clear as day, mocking my daughter, dismissing her pain, belittling her condition. Then I introduced Lily's specialist, Dr. Samuel Lee from Emory. He explained CRPS and spinal instability, how good days often follow bad ones, how swimming is encouraged, how pain is invisible but very real, how patients are often penalized for appearing too normal. Then I showed the MRI, highlighted spinal curvature, inflammation, pressure points. Even the skeptical board members couldn't deny what they saw. "We're not asking for anything new," I said, "just to be left alone. And for Lily to be treated with dignity." The board voted unanimously to uphold Lily's accommodation. They also issued a formal apology and created a new committee to review how the HOA handles disability accommodations going forward. Meredith sat frozen as the crowd dispersed. I approached her with Lily at my side. "I know about your son," I said softly, "and I'm sorry for what happened. But this wasn't the way to deal with that pain." Lily added, "You don't have to understand my body. Just be glad when I'm having a good day." Meredith didn't say a word, but a week later she resigned. What happened next surprised all of us. More neighbors came forward with their own invisible illnesses: lupus, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. A support group formed. People started looking at Lily not with suspicion, but admiration. 3 months later, I received an email. "Rachel, I've been doing some soul searching. I want to apologize, not to excuse, but to understand. I'd like to meet Lily if she's willing. Not for forgiveness. To learn." Lily said yes. We met at a cafe. Meredith listened, asked questions, cried quietly when Lily explained what it felt like to constantly prove she was in pain. That meeting sparked something. Lily launched a nonprofit called the Unseen Seen, an advocacy group for people with invisible disabilities. She works with Dr. Lee and me to conduct seminars in schools and workplaces. Our HOA's new policies became a template for others across the state. Sometimes I still think, what if we hadn't had the resources? The legal background, the medical support, the confidence to speak up? What about the families who don't? That's why I keep fighting. Lily still has good days and bad. But now, when our neighbors see her walking freely, they don't question her. They smile. And that's the real victory.